We will go through another night in the great house at Collinwood, unaware that there are those among us who are playing a most dangerous game, a game that will eventually end with someone's death.
How long are you going to stand there?
Patience, dear Carolyn, I'm thinking.
About what?
About everything you've told me. I find it astonishing that Dr. Hoffman could think that she'd ever get away with betraying me.
I don't think she's trying to betray you.
Oh?
No, I think she simply wants to undermine your plans for Vicky.
And do you know why?
Of course. She's jealous.
I warned her once. She'll be sorry that she didn't heed that warning.
What are you going to do?
I will permit nothing to stand in the way of my plans for Vicky. I'm afraid Dr. Hoffman will have to be disposed of permanently.
What are you going to do to her?
What do you think?
You can't kill her.
Why can't I?
Well, because it's wrong.
If she lives, she will go on obstructing my plans. I have no other choice.
Well, can't you talk to her and tell her you know what she's doing?
That would accomplish nothing.
It might. She knows you have the power to kill her. She might be frightened enough.
You don't know Hoffman as I do. Hoffman is professionally a very sensible and level-headed woman. But emotionally, she is as foolish as most other women.
I can't think she would be foolish in the face of death.
Possibly not, but I can't afford to take that chance. No, my dear, I must dispose of Hoffman. And I will want your help.
Barnabas, I'll help you do anything else. But I can't do this.
Be sensible, Carolyn. You really don't have a choice, do you?
Yes, I do.
Look at me, Carolyn. I said, look at me. I'm not really asking you to dispose of Hoffman. I will take care of that myself.
Then why do you need my help?
Because there is a mission that I must accomplish before I can take the appropriate steps.
And what is that?
Dr. Hoffman's notes on the experiments she was conducting with me.
What kind of notes?
They concern the nature of the experiments. And of course, they reveal everything about me.
You allowed her to keep such notes?
There was a time I was as interested as she was in my condition, but no longer. No, those notes must be destroyed, and it will be up to you to get them away from Dr. Hoffman as soon as possible, preferably tonight.
But how? I don't know what they look like or where she keeps them.
I do. She keeps them in a little notebook, in a safety box, on top of the armoire in her room.
Well, how do I get it?
You simply go into her room and take them.
Barnabas, she's in the house now. And as far as I know, she's not planning to go out of the house tonight.
Then you must find a way of getting her out of the house.
But how?
I'm confident that you will think of something.
Why must it be done tonight?
Because I want it done tonight.
I don't know what to do. She isn't really a threat to you. And now that Vicky's away.
She is a threat as long as she is alive.
But why?
Because of her hypnotic influence over Vicky. As long as she lives, it will continue no matter where Vicky is.
How can you be sure of that?
Well, I can't, of course. All I know is that I will never be safe until she's out of the way. I think you better go to Collinwood now, and when you get the notes, bring them to me immediately.
Yes. I will.
Carolyn. Don't make the mistake of starting to feel sorry for Dr. Hoffman. I wouldn't want your emotions to hinder my plans.
I don't like Dr. Hoffman. Why should I feel sorry for her? My only loyalty is to you.
Good. As long as you keep that in mind, our association will be a pleasant one. I'll be waiting for you.
Oh, Carolyn, dinner was ready 2 hours ago. Where have you been?
I went out for a walk.
Well, that's getting to be a nightly habit, isn't it?
What of it?
Well, you don't want to make a habit of missing your meals. That's not good for you.
Don't worry about it. I'll be all right.
You don't look all right.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, you've been looking pale as a ghost. Even your mother's noticed it. I think you could be coming down with something.
Mrs. Johnson, I'm not coming down with anything. I feel fine. Now, let's just drop the subject, shall we?
All right. You want me to fix you a snack?
No, I'm not hungry. Do you know where Miss Hoffman is?
Well, she went up to her room right after supper.
And is she still there?
So far as I know, she said she had a lot of work to do.
I see.
Is something wrong?
No, nothing. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Hi, Carolyn.
Maggie, what are you doing here?
I came to see Vicky.
Well, I'm afraid you can't. She left yesterday with David for Boston.
Oh, I see.
What did you want to talk with her about?
Well, I'd been away visiting some friends up in New Hampshire, and then when I got back this afternoon, I heard the news about Berg. I was furious with my father for not calling me and telling me when it happened.
Why? There's nothing he could do about it.
Well, is there any hope that he might still be alive?
Vicky insists on believing there is.
Well, under the circumstances, I would too, wouldn't you?
Maggie, I don't think Burke is ever going to come back. And the sooner Vicky accepts that fact, the better off she'll be.
Well, has Burke been officially listed as dead?
No. I just think she ought to be practical about it, that's all.
Carolyn, this just doesn't sound like you.
I'm sorry. I can't help the way I feel.
Has something happened?
No. What do you mean?
You haven't been ill or anything, have you?
No. Why?
I don't know. It's just that you don't seem to be yourself, and the way you keep touching that scarf, it just...
Just what?
I don't know. It just reminds me of something, that's all. I don't know what.
Well, I'm sorry, Maggie. It happens to be my favorite scarf, but if my touching it bothers you, I'll stop it.
Well, it doesn't bother me, Carolyn. It just gave me a funny feeling, that's all. You know, it's funny, but when I came up here tonight, I felt fine. Now I feel frightened.
Why?
I don't know.
I can't think of any reason why you should be frightened.
No, I guess not. Well, I guess I better be going home. Would you let me know when Vicky gets back from Boston?
Well, of course, Maggie. Good night.
Good night, Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Oh, good evening.
Who was at the door just now?
Maggie Evans.
Oh, what did she want?
She came to see Vicky.
Oh,
I thought you were going to spend the evening working in your room.
who told you that?
Mrs. Johnson.
I thought you weren't going to check on my whereabouts anymore.
I wasn't checking on anyone. I just came in and wondered where everyone was, that's all.
I see. Well, I was in my room working, but then a few minutes ago I heard the dogs howling.
And you got frightened?
No, just a little apprehensive.
Why?
Don't you know what the howling of the dogs mean?
No. Tell me.
Well, it means that Barnabas is upset about something and he's getting ready to do something about it.
Well, in this case, maybe it means that he's trying to tell you something.
Such as?
Oh, that he wants to see you at the old house immediately.
How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Well, why didn't you tell me before?
I assumed it was something you would feel instinctively, Julia. After all, you've known the real Barnabas so much longer than I have.
Well, I'd better get there quickly.
Yes, he doesn't like to be kept waiting. It's not there. It must be here somewhere. I've got to hurry. I've got to find it.
Well, Doctor, what a pleasant surprise.
Don't be upset, Barnabas. I got here as soon as I could under the circumstances.
I was beginning to think that we wouldn't be seeing each other at all this evening.
I came as soon as I got your message.
Message?
Carolyn said you wanted to see me. She made it sound urgent.
Urgent? Oh, of course.
Barnabas, what's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
He really was surprised to see me. He didn't send for me at all. Carolyn lied to me. For some reason, she wanted to get me out of the house. What's happening anyway? What are they up to? Perhaps you're just tired.
No, I'm fine.
Well, whatever it was that you wanted to see me about, I'm sure it'll keep until tomorrow evening. I was in the middle of some very important research. I want to get back to it now. Good night, Barnabas.
Julia, please don't go.
That's very interesting. When I arrived, you called me doctor, and now you're calling me Julia. I wonder, what does that mean?
Well, you prefer me to call you Julia, don't you?
Why don't we discuss that tomorrow evening?
I haven't told you why I sent for you.
Oh, you mean you suddenly remembered?
Well, it's not that. It's just that I didn't quite know how to say it to you. You see, it's not easy to admit that one is wrong.
Wrong about what?
About the experiments. I've decided that we should continue them your way.
All right. We can start resuming them tomorrow night.
Well, I was hoping we could start tonight.
But it's too late. You know the injection takes a long time to prepare. You know that as well as I do.
Well, we can discuss the matter at least and decide on taking the appropriate steps.
Barnabas, I am going back to Collinwood immediately.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
And I'm afraid you have no choice. Your little helper is not going to find what she's looking for. But if anything happens to me, someone will find it. And soon. Now let me go, Barnabas.
Very well, you may go.
Carolyn, what are you doing in here?
Nothing.
You are looking for something.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I was. I have a headache and I couldn't find any aspirin around the house, and since you're a doctor, I felt sure you would have some in your room.
I don't.
Yes, I know.
All my medical supplies are in the laboratory at the old house. You know that. You were looking for something. What were you doing?
I just told you.
I don't believe you. You'd best make up a more plausible story.
Or what?
Or I'll tell your mother that I found you prowling around in here.
No, Doctor. You wouldn't want my mother to find out who you really are. Would you?
Get out. Get out. She was lying. She was after the notebook to give it to Barnabas, which can only mean one thing. Barnabas is planning to kill me.